You're aiming for the whole body to breathe. Hi, Nate. How are you today?
Hi, Martha. Yes, I'm feeling really good today. Thank you. I've got a background in dance. I've always been fascinated with how the body works. I find it really amazing and really interesting. So anything like this just really fascinates me. My daughter, she and her husband had been interested in breathing. Zoe said to me, Mum, you might be interested in this book. It's called Breath. And it was Breath by James Nestor. And the book just went through his healing journey for his breath and chronic illnesses, just following a variety of techniques. And it did mention a segment on Buteyko in there. And the thing that stood out for me in that book, he said that he, like taping the mouth, really helped with his breathing. And I'd been getting headaches for a long time when I wake up in the morning. So I thought, oh, I'm going to try this. So I put the tape on and I woke up with no headache the next morning. So I thought, there's something in this. So I've got to look into this a little bit further. And then in a serendipitous way, again, a podcast I was listening to, Christopher Drake was interviewed. I was really engaged by that. And he said, just go to this website and there's an introductory workshop. So I did that. And I was sort of, right, now I have to do it. So I signed up for the beginners class. Really glad that I did.
Everyone's got an interesting story as to how they came about this approach and why they came to it. Well, one of the things that we find is a lot of people have different symptoms or different groups of symptoms more prevalent to them according to their genetics. So what kind of symptoms did you come with?
I'd had long-standing anxiety, and the COVID really triggered that. And also what's triggered me is the constant messaging we've been getting over the years. You've got to get tested for this, for that, for everything else. And that just raises my anxiety. And I was sick of it. I thought I don't want to live the rest of my life with the anxiety. And I think the anxiety was pushing up my blood pressure too. So it was getting to sort of dangerous levels. And I tried all sorts of things to bring it down, and it'd come down for a while, and then it'd go back up. And I want to be proactive. I don't want to go on to drugs and, the pharmaceutical conveyor belt, if you like. I want to be proactive with my health. So I thought I'd try this. This would be a good way to do it. I've also had a hip replacement from, I think, my dancing, and have arthritis in my fingers. So they're the main issues that I wanted to work with.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things that really preoccupies us is we start deteriorating and we can see we're not getting younger.
Yeah, that's right. And what did I want my future years to be? Going down, I see other people with one drug, then the next one, the next one, the next one. I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I feel fit and active, and I want to stay like that for as long as I can to enjoy my life. I don't want to be reliant on doctors and the medical system in any way.
Yeah, well, there's that, but also it's the actual quality of life that you can enjoy, because I used to sit listening to people, oh yeah, well, it's old age. That's what it is. I don't want my quality of life to change because of old age.
Yeah.
No,
me either.
My grandparents lived into their 90s and they were independent into their 90s. They were never in a home, not ever. They still stayed in their flat in London until
same with my grandparents. They both were in their 80s, but they never were in aged care and died when they were ready, I think.
Yeah. So what did you find happened when you started the workshop?
I think the first thing I noticed, I've been feeling really cranky for quite a number of weeks, or a long time really, over various things just happening at home. And I noticed, I just started to mellow out a little bit more. I was a bit nicer to be around, I think.
Mm.
I also noticed when I was feeling tired, I'd do some pauses and my energy would lift.
Yeah.
And I could keep going. Also, I noticed that I was sleeping better.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did wake up, I'd do some pauses and then I'd go straight back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd been having long periods during the night when I was awake for a couple of hours and then going back to sleep and then waking up feeling not rested.
Mm.
So over time, what I've noticed is that I'm most days waking up feeling as though I've had a good rest and I can sort of start the day. Some days I still get those little headaches in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do some breathing, some pauses, they eventually go and my energy comes back and I can get on with the day. My blood pressure immediately went down, actually. It's gone back up again for a bit. You know, it's up and down, but I just noticed that, it just went down really quickly to to a healthy level. So that I was pleased about that. Yeah.
The thing is when it goes up, if you sit down and do some easy pauses and shallow breathing, does it come down again? That's the interesting.
Yeah. If I don't rush it,
Yeah, if you don't rush it, take your time, blood pressure comes down again. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. But I have noticed that, yes.
The interesting thing is that people get very worried about the blood pressure going up. If you're a young person, you do a workout and then take your blood pressure, it's huge. It's massive. 200 over whatever, 100 and something. So it's supposed to go up when you need oxygen.
Yeah.
When you're doing exercise, you need oxygen. So the blood pressure should go up. And when you're active, it's going to be higher. That's normal. So you don't take the blood pressure until you've been sitting still for about 5, 10, 15 minutes even. So
sometimes I'm not good at that.
No, well, that's the thing.
I rush
it. You're supposed to take it at rest. And also, go on.
I was just going to say, speaking about that, that's another reason I've noticed doing the practice, like the morning, the lunch, and the before dinner and bed. It creates a lovely a pause in the day where I can just slow down and stop and then keep going again, then slow down and stop and keep going again. And I really like that. And if I feel at a loose end, sometimes when I'm at a loose end and I don't know what to do, my anxiety will rise, so I just come and do some breathing and I'm fine again. It comes down. So I really love that structure and I love the discipline and the practice.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the result comes quite quickly because it only takes 10 or 15 minutes to get that result.
Yeah.
That's what I liked. Because I practiced meditation for years. It would take me 40 minutes maybe sitting still to feel better, to begin to feel better. Whereas with the pauses, I could get the job done in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like too, because I'm not I've tried meditation and I don't like it. I'm not good at sitting still. I like to move. And but I found I can sit and do this, if I'm as well, half an hour has gone by, which is because I'll just do another one, because I like it, I'll just do another one. So, and then what I've been doing lately is just really focusing on the breath, the natural breath in between each pause. And I find that really really soothing and grounding, and that time's just been extending a little bit lately because I'm really enjoying that time as well. Yeah, and it's a break between the pauses.
That's the time when you absorb the CO2. It's sponging it up.
Yeah.
It's a very nice feeling. That's the thing that motivates you to do it.
It is, yes, because it makes me feel good. So like this morning I woke up and I had a headache and I thought, how am I going to do it this morning because I don't feel that great. So I just decided to, okay, just go a little bit at a time. So this is a nice learning for me, just going a little bit at a time and not, I tend to want to push things. So I just started down low and just built it up, 10 at a time, and eventually got to, the maximum pause that I'm working on at the moment. It took a little bit longer, but it felt really, really satisfying to do that.
You're willing to experiment, which makes for a better result, because if you can start to modulate your pauses according to what's happening to you, then you can get the result that you need quicker.
That's what I discovered this morning. Like last week, I would have just either stopped earlier or I would have pushed through and then be really thinking I'm going to die because I've pushed it too hard.
Probably in more pain as well.
Yes. So, and so this time when I did it, just taking my time, the headache just faded, and by the time I'd finished, it was completely gone.
Yeah.
So I thought that was amazing. So that was a good learning. Yeah,
well, that's the thing is that you develop skill with the practice over time. Just through repetition.
Yeah. Shallow breathing, that's tricky. But just today I suddenly, I don't know, dropped into it a little bit more, and it felt more like the impetus was coming from lay down in my belly rather than up here in the nose.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Well, the thing is now you know where you're going. So even if you can't get there, you know where you're going, and you know you will get there. That this discomfort is temporary. That's the thing.
Yeah, and sometimes that shallow breathing can feel really jagged or all over the place. But just every now and again, for just a little while, it'll just feel really, really smooth and fine, which I'm imagining is what we're aiming for.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah, you're aiming for the whole body to breathe. That's what you're going, is it's kind of a whole body. Well, it's almost like the skin is breathing.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not an in-breath and an out-breath. You're not doing in-breaths and out-breaths. It's just this sort of vibrational experience. And if you watch a baby, that's how they breathe. We're just going back to breathing like a baby.
So it's like, it feels like it's more internal.
It is internal.
Rather than taking air in through the nose, it's being drawn in.
The skin breathes actually as well. I mean, they talk about the amphibians' skin breathing, but we actually breathe through skin too. All the cells are respiring, cellular respiration.
I have done experiments where I do feel that exchange between the outer and the inner.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeling that the skin is more like porous and taking, breathing. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you watch a baby, they breathe rapidly, really rapidly, shallow and rapid. Their heartbeat is faster and their breathing is faster than ours. So our aim is to get our breathing back to rapid and shallow. Rapid in comparison to what we were doing before. So that was Buteyko's big discovery. He went to the maternity ward and watched the babies breathing, and then he went to the geriatric ward and watched the old people breathing, which is very different.
Oh, yeah. But yes, I've worked as a dance therapist with older people, and conversely, I've had a few years of brand new grandchildren being born. And my latest granddaughter, I was watching her when she was quite small, and I thought, oh, how do they do that? That breathing, I was just observing, like you were saying, that constant little movement.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, it only takes a few weeks for babies to just adopt chest breathing and mouth breathing.
Yep.
Mouth breathing is chest breathing.
Yeah, well, I've noticed that with her. She's now 14 months old and she does a lot of mouth breathing. Yeah. Yeah, which is a shame. Yeah.
Buteyko's whole thing was to stop the mouth breathing. If nothing else, just to stop it. Just with children, you just do that with them.
All right. So they get the idea. Oh, right. I'll have to try it. It's my granddaughter. Yeah. And I found the taping, at night. At first I wasn't sure, but just after the first night, and I thought, well, I survived that, and it was fine. I don't generally have any trouble with my nose blocking or anything, so it felt okay. But the other night, I did have a nightmare, and my husband said I was like that because I couldn't couldn't open my mouth to yell, which he thought was fairly amusing.
What would be good, actually, is if you do some practice lying down in the day, train your breathing pattern when you're lying down, and also to break your sleep once or twice a week.
You mean wake up in the night? I generally do wake up, and when I wake up, I do some pauses.
Okay, good. Okay, well, just keep doing that.
So after I had that nightmare and I woke up, I did some pauses then.
Okay, good.
Just to bring everything back down.
Yeah. Well, then what you can do is start to practice lying down in the day.
You mean the practices like the sets?
Yeah, do
those lying down.
Do one set lying down and train your shallow breathing pattern lying down, and also train your shallow breathing pattern as you go to sleep lying down as well.
Okay.
So it'll help to train the breathing at night. It's something you can do to just help. Yeah, it's basically training. This is training. Yeah, it's repetition. Repetition.
Yeah. So when you get nightmares, that would mean you're taking deeper breaths.
Nightmare is always preceded by an episode of deep breathing. Yeah. So is sleep and snoring.
I don't have that, but I did have some snoring, but I haven't noticed. I usually wake myself up when I snore, but I haven't been snoring, so that's another benefit I've noticed.
Yeah, snoring's deep breathing.
So that's stopped. So that's good.
Yeah. Benefit for more than just ourselves. Everyone else.
Yes. That's true. What else did I notice? I noticed when I first started that after a week or so, jumped on the scales and my weight had dropped. Not that I need to lose weight, but it did go down. It feels as though it's stabilised at the moment. And that's probably because I notice when I do a set of courses that if I've been hungry, I don't feel hungry for a while. And then when I do eat, I don't tend to eat as much. Like I just stop when I'm becoming, just stopping when I feel as though I don't need to eat anymore. Whereas in the past, it might have been, just a little bit more. So I've noticed that. And I like to try and integrate it into my day. So in the car as a passenger, I can fit quite a few in. Pauses just as I'm driving along. Or if I've got time, the other day I had some time between appointments, so I had about half an hour. So there was a nice little shady area in the walkway in a little arcade. So I just sat down there and fitted in quite a number of 3 or 4 pauses, filled in the time nicely between my next appointment. When I go swimming, I have been just doing the breathing through the nose and holding my breath underwater, and then doing some pauses after that. So I've been finding sometimes in between sets, if I'm home, I'll just do some steps as well. And what I've discovered is I'm discovering new aspects of my garden as I go out there and pause before I do the pause and then walk around the garden and stop at a different spot. It's given me an appreciation of my garden from different aspects.
Yeah. So you're kind of talking about integrating your practice into your day.
So it just becomes part of the day and not something extra that has to be done, if you like.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it makes me feel good. It's pleasant. It's easy. It's easy to do.
Gradually it'll integrate more and more, and it just becomes what you do every day. Is you're aware of your breathing, and whatever you're doing, you adjust your breathing according to the activity. And the way you change your breathing is to increase the level of CO2, because you know how to do that in whatever you're doing.
So the whole training is the whole point to gradually get your breathing to be just shallow all the time?
Yeah. All the time. Yeah. To change your breathing pattern. Change your breathing pattern. So when you feel your symptoms getting slightly worse, you know that your breathing pattern's deepening. And when you feel your breathing pattern deepening, that you know that your control pause is dropping. Or if you can feel your tension level, because it depends how you define symptom, your excitability of the nervous system, meaning that the tension is increasing slightly, you know now that your breathing is deepening.
So then you would do
just an extra one or two, or pay attention to your breathing and find the air hunger and maintain it for a few minutes. You can do different things to re-establish shallow breathing, to find a new level, the deeper level of relaxation again.
Yeah.
If you can check in on your level of relaxation.
Yeah.
Because you know that the level of anxiety or the level of relaxation is reducing. You can feel it.
Yes. Yeah.
Your breathing's deepening. Simple as that.
Okay. After we'd finished, I was really sad that, it's over now. And I was looking on the website and I noticed there were some follow-up just for 4 weeks. And I decided to do that and found it really helpful. Sometimes when you stop something and then you haven't got any follow-up to do, you can get lost a little bit. So I just wanted to stay on track and build on what I'd already learned. So just doing that for another 4 weeks was great. I've also joined in one free follow-up session, and I found that useful as well. So I'm really liking that there's a lot of support with Buteyko online. It feels really important just to kept me on track and to keep going. And when you got another class coming up, it's something to look forward to and some new learning. I'm always interested in learning more and integrating it into my own body.
Well, thank you. It's been lovely working with you.
So, thank you, Martha. You too. Really enjoyed it.
It's a real privilege for us because we meet amazing people from all over the world.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So thank you for your testimony. And we'll get it edited and put it up on the YouTube channel as usual. And people really benefit from the YouTube channels because they get depressed at times and it gets a bit tedious, and sometimes the cleansing gets to them a bit, and come onto the YouTube channel, they can listen to people's stories and kind of see or remind themselves there's light at the end of the tunnel and it's temporary. The bad bits are temporary. Like you've said, I wake up with a headache and I do a few pauses and it goes. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. You've now got a tool.
Very good one. When I started, my control pause was around 18 to 20, around just sort of on the brick there. And now after 2 months of practice, it sort of kind of ranges between 25 and 35. So I guess it's around somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, late 20s, 30-ish, around that time, And you're beginning to get signs of pains in your knees and This is sort of
Yeah,
classic.
yeah, shooting pains in my finger, and
yeah. This is the sort of cleansing reaction you can look forward to. Yeah. But what's the quality of life compared to what it was with the control pause around the 20 mark? So you've gone from 20 mark now to 30 mark.
I feel as I'm more balanced, like emotionally, mentally, like not so. I mean, I can still snap, but not so volatile. I suppose. I think I've come down and not being triggered so much by what's going on. So with my husband, for instance, who can, husbands can be a bit triggering at times. So I'm learning to do a pause, let it go, and that works. That works for me.
And then your energy level?
Good. More constant throughout the day. I used to get a real sleepy period after lunch, hard to get going again. But if I do a few pauses, then I can keep going. Also, going to bed later at night than I used to.
Less sleep.
Yep. So that's less sleep. Or if I go a bit earlier, then I'm waking up earlier.
Yeah.
And that's really helpful because I make coffee and in a van just going to markets and so on. And twice a week I have to wake up. I have to be up by 5:30. So I wake up at 5 o'clock to do a set before I go, which really gets me going.
So it's more flexibility, really. You can use your time any time of the day more comfortably.
Yeah, and getting more waking hours with energy to do the things that I like to do. Yeah. And more joy. I think there's the times when I get the anxiety. I'm finding I'm getting that when I change from 70 to 75 and from 80 to 85. I just noticed it yesterday. Why has my anxiety gone up? And then I realized, it's like I'm noticing this little pattern. And it's gone and it's down. Today I'm feeling joyful again, which is, it's like, where did it go? It's gone, but it might be back again.
Yeah, but it's kind of temporary now. It'll change.
Yeah, and I can say to myself, this is temporary. Don't engage with it so much like I used to. I'd really get into it. So now I'm like, okay, stop. Do some breathing to break it. Like the tendency is to want to just to get into it. But I find if I can remind myself to do pauses, and then my thinking will change. So that's been hugely beneficial.
Yeah, it's quite amazing, the changes. They're fascinating. In fact, it's a huge surprise for most of us.
A nice surprise for me. I don't want to live my life any longer like that. I've had enough.
Yeah, I know. I actually was so anxious that I didn't know that I was fundamentally built on anxiety. And as I went through this, anxiety came to the surface, and I discovered that I was an incredibly anxious person. And I had been.
Yeah, I've been anxious since I was an anxious child, and it's just, it's like I'm 69 now, and it's like enough. I don't need it anymore. I don't want it anymore.
You don't want it anymore. No.
I want to be proactive with my health.